Hi everyone, thank you to be here once again for a brand new video about old and vintage tech. And today it's gonna be a bit different because we're gonna study the arcade games before the video games. Yes, electro-mechanical games. That is to say, arcade games that are not using any electronic or chipsets or computers. No video games, but arcade games before the video games. And if you follow my French channel, maybe some of you might know yet that I already made several videos about electromechanical games, starting from 1959, and I was making new videos from time to time, exploring back the electromechanical games year by year. So I went from 1959 to 1970, and today we are the year 1971, and it's a very special year because it's the same year that the first arcade video games went out. Yes, Computer Space from Nothing Associates was released in 1971. So I was saying this year is quite special because it's a year when electromechanical games are crossing the start of the first video games, and it's very interesting to watch and study. So if you like this concept, you can go to my French channel and see all the other videos which led to this one, and from now on I'm gonna make also English videos about electromechanical games. And well, with no further talking, let's start right now and explore this wonderful and incredible world of electromechanical games from 1971. And let's start with a Defender machine gun from Chicago Coins. And if you saw my previous videos on electromechanical games, you know how I like to do it. So first we look at the promotional pictures, the flyers that were distributed to the owner of the arcade to make them buy the machines. And they are very interesting to study because here you can see what Chicago Coins, for example, want to emphasize, the new improvements they made from the previous years. And then after we're gonna watch a video of the game itself. So here it is, Defender machine gun. Be a World War I ace. We can see the arcade cabinet with a realistic machine gun. He did an excellent painting with biplanes flying over a DCA, which tried to shoot them down. The marquee is interesting too, because the guy is like smiling at, yeah, cool. I have binoculars and I'm looking at planes, and it's so nice to be in the battle. Okay. Under the title we can read realistic machine gun with button control, fires staccato burst with authentic vibrating action. Wow. So it's like you got feedback, you know, when you fire because it's vibrating. It's quite advanced for 1971. Player defends a village from attacking enemy planes. Okay, so you, the defender, you control the machine gun, and I get there are planes flying in front of you and you must shoot them down. Concerning the planes, they dive, they climb, they circle. Authentic 3D World War I biplanes. That's funny because the 3D word, you know, they use it in fact for more than 60 years. It's incredible. The 3D word is always the word that they think we make us buy the thing. We're still in it with 3D virtual glasses, and in the 80s it was 3D isometric or 3D like, you know, like the first Star Wars games when you had vectors with a perspective, it was 3D too. It's very funny. Actually fly in daring night maneuvers. So yeah, it looks like we are at night. It will be illuminated by black lights for a very nice effect, and so the gunner is in constant battle action. Okay, what are the main sale points? New realistic 3D visual effects, I told you. New solid state sound system, so they changed the sound system, it should sound better. Specially designed cabinet retains battle sounds, only the player hears and not all the room behind him. Wow, that's nice. Okay, so what I usually do after the flyer is that I'm looking for videos showing how the game works in real. And very often there's no videos at all available. It's really sad. In my previous video, there were a lot of arcade cards from the 60s, from the 70s and 50s that are gone. or at least there are no videos available on the internet. It's very sad. So sometimes we are lucky, and for Machine Gun Defender, hopefully there are several videos, so we're gonna watch one right now. It's always very nice to see the cabinet in real, with the flashing lights and yeah, I recognize the marquee with the guy very happy.
Arcades did. These were the arcades before that time. So if you look,
and here we can see.
there you can see the scenery.
The scenery, the landscape. So this is the village that we must defend with little houses, I think. There is a lake, or at least a river.
This is a mirror you're looking at, and then down below.
And in fact, the scenery is at the bottom of the cabinet, and everything is reflected by mirrors, so the player think he has the scenery in front of him, but no, it's really at the bottom of the cabinet.
So that it would activate the actual point-off part.
Okay, so he's gonna try to play a party and see the magic happening. There are orange and green planes flying in circle over the village, and you have to shoot them down with your machine gun. Wow, and then they crash in an epic crash sound and effect. See the score? There are 500, 400, 300, they are circling. And you must shoot down the planes, well, ideally when you got 500 points.
What you want to get is...
Do you hear the sound, realistic sound of the planes and the machine gun?
That gets you more time on the clock.
And you can see the black lights at the top of the video. Yeah, so he ran out of time and he made 2,000 points. Not bad. Incredible. Yeah, I really like the electromechanical games for this. It's just magic. Hopefully there are some more videos about Machine Gun Defender. I'm just gonna show you one more. It's a bit different because we're gonna see the inside of the cabinet, and that's very interesting. These are in fact two planes turning in circle. Let me pause to explain. So the two planes are attached on the roads and they are circling all the time. And with lights and mirror, these planes are in fact displayed in front of the player. That's incredible. And you see all the tracks coming out and in of the mechanism, and the circle ones too. This is used so the system knows where you're aiming with a machine gun, and if you're actually aiming right and shooting one of the planes. That's just incredible. That's the magic of the electromechanical games. And we continue with a game called Great Drag Races, or Drag Races, I don't know. And it's from Allied Leisure, which made a lot of arcade cabinets in the 60s, 70s. And this one seems to look like a drag race simulation. It's quite original. I think it's the first time I see that. It might be the first one to do that. And well, let's have a look at the flyer and study what they are promising us. Great Drag Races. Of course, priced right, yeah. The marketing slogans are sometimes tiring. I don't know how you say in English exactly, but c'est fatigant, quoi. Because all the flyers are always saying the same thing. They're promising such incredible things that you don't believe them anymore. Price right, yeah, of course. Location tested, yeah, we put them in many locations and they all said it's wonderful, really incredible game, of course. Double profit, of course, yeah, you were making money with normal games like Periscope from Sega, no, but with drag races you will double your profits, of course. So it's another winner, yeah. That's right. So what do they say? Dual movable controls and acceleration pedal for the most realistic experience in competition drag racing. Okay, so indeed we see there are 2 wheels and pedals, acceleration pedals, so you can play 2 players or maybe 1 player against the computer. I was going to say not the computer but the Electro Mechanical system intelligence. Let each player test driving skills in 3 separate races. Separate races, but a drag race, it's a straight line, so I don't understand quite what you're saying here. The realistic sounds of screeching tires and roaring engines combined with 3-dimensional, again, they're setting up the 3D, multicolored cars racing down the road to glory. Yeah, hey. Action sells next play. Meanwhile, everyone wants to beat the champ, and the loser wants to practice and become the next champ. Loser! Well, I don't think it's happening like this. And on the bottom right, you have this red triangle saying, caution, this machine will become habit forming. Well, I think I never saw this cabinet before. I don't think it sold very well, in fact. So, hopefully there is one video available on YouTube, and we are lucky because someone has this cabinet at home, it's working, and he recorded a short movie so everyone can enjoy. So let's see what it's all about. Okay, so you can play 1 player against the system. Oh, 3 races per game, okay. You finished just the first race, so it's a straight line, and you go at the end of the line, and then you have another race, and you're making points by trying to compensate the inclinaison, the tilt shift of the car. Well, it's not very interesting. So here is the 3rd race, I think. Well, it's not 3 different circuits, it's the same race. So you always have to compensate the direction of your car. Okay, and here it's finished. And you made 51 points. Well. Boring! Not surprised it didn't say well. Next. Okay, and here another game from Chicago Coins named Twin Machine Gun. I think it's very similar to a Machine Gun Defender that we saw the first game. Surely the same technology. But looking at the flyer, there are some differences. For a start, this is a 2-player game. Well, I guess you can play alone, against time, or against another player. So let's have a look at the flyer. Twin Machine Guns Foreign Legion, so this is more World War II period, surely in the desert. And so they say realistic twin machine guns, authentic looking, authentic feeling, gun recoil is amazingly lifelike. Okay, they made effort on this. 1 or 2 players playing against time and each other, or each other. A great competitive game. Well, and each other too, because the game is time limited, of course. Action and excitement. The faster targets are shot down, the faster new ones appear. Impossible to get a perfect score. I don't know if this is a good thing to say for someone who wants to play. No matter how much you put in this cabinet and how much time you try to play it, you will never reach a perfect score. Sorry. Our best targets ever. And they made a lot of targets games. 2 circling planes dive and explode when hit, and alternate with tank and cannon drops targets. Okay, so this is the originality of this game, that you have planes circling on the top in the sky, like on Machine Gun Defender. But you also have more classic targets in the scenery at the bottom. our best sound effects ever. So they are very proud of this cabinet. The true staccato akakak of machine guns and the incredibly true sound of buzzing, crashing, exploding planes. Yeah, people like that, the sound of fire, crashing, exploding. Oh my god. And we have a zoom in of the scenery. Okay, yeah, the machine guns look realistic. Foreign Legion, it's like happening in Arabic region, I think. And we can have a look at the back of the flyer where there are more informations. And well, here you can see that the scenery is not exactly the same as the one we saw on the front of the flyer. It doesn't look the same. And I can tell you that in the video I will show you right after that, the scenery is different too. And the game slightly different. But here we can see the fort in the middle of the desert. You can see two rounds in the sky, two circles with the hit written. These circles are lit when left player or right player hits something, it's a target. So you know which player shot the target. And we can see also the tanks, cannons and trucks that will move up and down behind the dunes. Okay, what I say here, we think your operators will love it. We think you love it too. Foreign Legion is a thrilling competitive game for one player who goes against the clock, or for two players who compete with one another to hit the target first. Of course, the first who hits the target, we get the points. And look what else we put into Foreign Legion to make it even more exciting. Yes, what did you put in it? Black light. Yeah, like any other games of the time. 3D vacuum form playfield. So here they go again with the 3D stuff. Incredible. Realistic machine guns. Okay. Mirrored interior sidewalls that give playfield an expensive look. That is interesting because I didn't saw that quite often. You will see in the video that on the side, indeed, there are mirrors that expand the scenery and give an impression of profondeur, like we say in French. Okay, and luckily we have a video of this arcade cabinet, of this game. I don't know if it's exactly the same. I mean, yeah, it's called Foreign Legion game from 1971, but you see again the scenery, the fort is a bit different. There must have been several versions. You don't see here the machine guns, but they sound more like rifles than machine guns. Okay, let's watch it and we can comment it. See how the planes are circling in the sky. It's exactly the same as a machine gun defender. A green plane and an orange plane. And if you hit them, they crash down. And there is a round hit that lit up. And then, yeah, you see there's a classic target at the bottom, and then it goes back to the planes and so on. It alternates between the planes and the classic targets. It's quite original to mix both type of play. It's a bit deranging that the planes are like civil planes and not army planes like fighters or... You don't shoot down civilian planes, come on! Cannons and tanks, yes, but not civilian planes, please. So as soon as you hit a target, another one is lifting up. So if you're fast, you can score many points. Maybe that's what they meant when they said there's no perfect score. Of course, there is a high score, but no predefined perfect score. Okay, I understand. Well, next. Okay, just a quick break because I wanted to tell you something quite interesting, at least for me. One of the viewers told me last time, he left a comment saying, "Hey, Olympics, I have just boosted your video and you can ask people to do the same." So I was thinking, well, boost my video? What is this option? I don't understand. I don't know what it is. But in fact, the option is only on smartphones. So I'm asking you, if you can take 30 seconds, take your smartphone, look at this video, and under the video where you would comment the video, you can slide towards the left the comment box and you will get access to the boost option, and there you can boost my video. This will help me to increase my ranking because actually I don't have a lot of subscribers. Even if my videos are quite complete and details, I mean, a lot of people are missing it. So if you can take 30 seconds of your time, boost my video, that will be great. Thanks, and let's continue this video. And here is Jet Rider from Midway, a motorcycle racing game, I guess, looking at the flyer. It takes you on a wide trip all the way to the bank. Yeah, of course you will earn a lot of money with it. So if we look at the cabinet, we see that there are handlebars, to control the bike, but there's not much else. Let's see the back of the flyer. We have a nice drawing, a lot of speed, fast action, features. Okay, what are the features? Hang on to authentic handlebars. Speed up or slow down. You control the action. Yeah, I guess you can control the speed of the motorcycle with the handle. Wow, drivers test their skill and daring against the fast track and competitive cycles flashing before them. Yes, because there are other motorcycles on the circuit in front of you and you have to dodge them, of course, and do not touch them. Out of sight, thrilling 3D effect creates exciting raceway action. Here again, it's a 3D term that is very à la mode in 1970, apparently. Accidents, passing, lane hugging. Wild, real cycle sound accelerates louder the faster you go. Adjustable volume. Okay, nice to know. Watch out, hit another cycle or go off the road and you're in trouble. Sirens squeal and your cycle flips over. Look at that! The eye-catching cabinet is hard to pass up. Oh, it looks like any other cabinet of the time. Also extended play, adjustable timer, simplified circuitry. Okay. Well, let me say to you that I didn't find any video, any footage of this arcade cabinet. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's sad. But it's very possible that this game is exactly the same as Motorcycle from Chicago Coins that we saw in a previous video on my French channel. And as you maybe didn't see it, well, I'm gonna show you the footage, and I think that Jet Rider is a kind of copy of Motorcycle. Different companies made this type of game inspired by Speedway, which was very well known, the same technology, and they adapted the game to motorcycle racing. And Jet Rider, I think it's exactly the same as Motorcycle. Maybe if you know the answer, or if you find a footage of Jet Rider, please leave a comment below and give me the link of the footage, or tell me if you know if the games are the same. Okay, so let's have a look at Motorcycle for Chicago Coins. Yeah. So the concept is that in fact there are plastic discs inside the cabinet with scenery painted on them, and there are other discs with the motorcycles painted on them. And these discs are spinning at different speed, so the game is never the same, and you have to dodge them, but it's always different. So you have to avoid touching them, of course, and not going sideways too much out of the road. It's exactly the same as Speedway in 1969, I think, which was revolutionary, and a lot of games copied it. with different subjects. And here is a motorcycle. Okay, that was fun. Let's see the next game. And here is Night Bomber from Chicago Coins. They were very productive in 1971, apparently. You're flying high from the cockpit. Nothing like it. No one else has dive, climb. What do you mean? No one else has dive, climb? Yeah. Oh, maybe you're talking about arcade games. Okay, what are the features? Bang to the left or right, zoom in all direction, and it's all controlled by the player pilot with authentic airplane control steering. Yeah, the control steering looks fine, and the control board too, very realistic, I guess, with flashing lights and a lot of instruments. That's nice. Daredevil flying at night under actual battle conditions. Player is at high altitude with a bomber's view of the realistic curvature of the moving Earth. At least they don't think that Earth is flat. That's nice. Black light gives fantastic illusion of actual nighttime bombing mission, with target areas glowing in the dark, disappearing when hit. Looks nice. I'm eager to watch the video. Size to fit any location, less depth than any other similar game now made. Yeah, because in fact, if you saw my previous videos, but you didn't, we saw that in 1970, a lot of games based on the same technological principle appeared, like Target Zero from Bally or Flotilla from Williams. So we saw in the videos dedicated to the arcade games in 1970 at least 2 games like this. And in 1971, Chicago is doing its version, and they don't miss a chance to tackle their competitors. At the back of the flyer, we can read, "For young and old, Chicago Coins, daringly different." Yes, not like the others, because we copied them, so we try to do something different and better, of course. We have realistic explosion sounds. Players really sees and hears the bombs and rockets dropping to targets. That's nice. We're gonna see in the video that when you fire, you see the rockets going straight to the target. That's impressive. Because here again, it's Electro Mechanical. No electronic, no chipset, no computers, no RAM, no pixel graphics. Jet engine sound is on all during games, so on, so on. Yeah. Okay, let's watch the video. So here it is. Pilot briefing. Push wheel in to dive, push to gain altitude. Oh, excellent. So you see you have a large belt with all the scenery painted on it, and it's turning all the time, but it's huge, so the scenery is quite different. You don't realize that it's always the same thing. And you have targets that are lit up, and you must shoot on them with your crosshair, and then you push the trigger to fire the rockets. And this is impressive because you see really the rockets and the explosion, and these are all mirrors inside the machine. Here is a target value to score 50, 10 or 30. It's always changing. And see how when you're going on the left or the right, you feel like you're moving all the inside of the cabinet, but no, it's all moving mirrors that are flipping at different angles. It's very well done. And this is quite different from the competitors. They didn't have that. Okay, quite impressive indeed. I really like this type of game. I really would like to test one of them. Next game. Here we are, the first Sega game from 1971, or I mean the first one that we talk about tonight. And it's Monte Carlo, which is a race car game. We've seen a motorcycle racing game and a dragster one, but not really cars yet. And this one looks cool. I mean, the pattern of the flyer are very 70s. So yes, nice. And otherwise, well, if we look at the cabinet, it looks like mostly classic, with a big wheel, an accelerator pedal, and a chair I think it's optional. You can screw it on the cabinet or not, depending what you want to do. Okay, let's see the back of the flyer, which is very simple, very classy, I should say. Only black and white, no need to put other pictures. And let's have a closer look at the features. Okay, well, yes, it's a simulated racing game with all the thrills of speed driving. Black lighted 3-lane racing track. This is very important because until now all the racing games were mostly based on a speedway game technology, you know, with a plastic disc turning in circles, and sometimes you had 2 plates, but it was always quite the same thing, or with a projection too. We've seen racing games like this in the previous years, but this one that you're gonna see is quite different, and it's an innovation for 1971. 3-lane racing track means that you indeed have 3 lanes, and you will have opponent cars in each of these lanes, and you will have to dodge them. And the cars will be moving, well, you're gonna see after that. Visible adjustable timer up to 70 seconds. It's precise. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds. Okay. And then you have a very detailed description of what happened when there is an accident. Player's car flashes red. Sways and crash sound is heard. Standby. Light flashes holding car score until go. Light is on. Go, go, go. And then you can go and race again. There's only 1 replay per cash play. Okay. Winning score adjustable from 4,000 to 8,000 miles. As a reminder, this is addressed to the manager of the arcades, and they can adjust the options in the cabinets depending on what they want to do. Obstacles cars on track move from lane to lane. Yeah, this is what I told you, and this is the big innovation. And then after, yeah, it's classic features. So I have a bad news and I have a good news. Which one do you want first? Yeah, maybe the bad news is that I don't have any footage of the Monte Carlo from Sega running. No, nothing apart one video where we can see someone which is trying to repair the game. So we will see inside the cabinet, and this is quite interesting. But the good news is that we have footage of the next game we're going to talk about, which is called Runner from Bally. And from what I understand, it's exactly the same game. And we have footage for this. So just be patient. We're just gonna see first the video of the inside of the Monte Carlo from Sega, and then after we're gonna watch the footage of the Roadrunner. Okay, so this is the inside, and you see here are the 3 tracks. And here are the main scenery where you have the player's car, the red one. And on the right, you have the 3 different lanes, tracks, when there are opponent cars. And they are moving with chains. It's very impressive, at different speeds, so you will not encounter the same position of the cars when you're driving. So see the pink one. And the green one is a bit special. There's a mechanism on it which makes it turn around on it under its own position. Oh yes, that was an accident. So of course the real game is assembled, and you have the 3 lanes and the cars which are projected on the main scenery with mirrors. It's very impressive. See the green car? She's moving around, and it will be quite difficult to pass through. Very impressive mechanism. And so we jump directly to the next game, which is Roadrunner from Bally. So this is supposed to be nearly exactly the same game as Sega Monte Carlo. It's always difficult to know who copied who. Well, usually if you've seen my previous videos, it's very often it was Sega, or at least Casco, who worked with Sega, or Sega copied Casco, and then Sega made it worldwide, and then everybody copied. So that's the main scheme is like this. But sometimes you don't know. It's like Atari in video games. Maybe there are some competitors who think about a new idea before Sega. So I don't really know for this one, but I think the first one was Sega, and the Roadrunner is very, very similar, but with some slight differences that we're gonna see. So the flyer of Roadrunner is excellent. This girl just had an accident and she's going back for more. Yeah, because the game is so great that even if you have an accident, you want to play again, again, and again. So if I zoom on the cabinet, we can see that it's, well, classic one, big wheel, accelerator pedal, and nice side art, nice marquee, and the playfield area is quite narrow, and we're gonna see soon why. Let's see the back of the flyer, which is nice. There are a lot of details here and very interesting ones. So look at this fantastic action. Yeah, at least we see the scenery. We see very well the 3 lanes with a lot of cars. And I think that there are more cars than in Sega Monte Carlo. And on the right, we see the blue car, which is held by a small metal rod. And when you have an accident, the car flips over and it's very impressive. So what do they say? Collision with rival's car hurls player's car up in the air to land on a start strip. Yes, that is what I was just saying, and you're gonna see that in the video in a few seconds. Mileage loss wrecks are avoided by skillful weaving from lane to lane while driving car at maximum speed to score maximum miles before end of race. The more you race miles, the more you get a high score. I mean, the score are the miles. And at the bottom left, they say, not a film. Yes, this is important because most racing car games until now were based on the speedway technology or films projected. But here it's quite different, like we saw just before with the Monte Carlo. There's a whole mechanism which are really moving each car on the different lanes. Realistic 3D glow color racing cars. This is amazing. Okay, I prepared a bit the video and I selected the games, but I didn't read in detail the flyers, and now I'm making this video. And wow, every flyer uses the 3D word. I think it's like in 1971, you have to talk about 3D or you can't sell your game. It's impressive. Triple tracks for maximum action. Obstacle cars move at variable speeds. Yes. Player controls speed of his car. J'espère bien, oui. Authentic speedway sound effect. Voilà, blablabla, blablabla. Bonus time for high mileage. Yeah. Eye-catching, on s'en fout. We want to see the footage, we want to see how this looks like. And the good news is we have several footage of this game. So let's start right away with this one. It's always nice to, after having read the flyer, to see a real one, a real cabinet.
I'll just give you a quick tour around the game.
Nice side art, the same as in the flyer.
Cabinet is definitely original, quite complete. And much to my surprise,
okay, let's start the game, please. Wow.
boiling and a little bit
Yeah, come on.
working.
Let's play a game. First thing we notice, it's different as Sega because here the player car is the ghost one, the one which is projected on mirrors, and the other cars are really here in front of you on the 3 lanes. And there are many more cars as we saw in the Sega game. I think in the Sega Monte Carlo there were only 3 cars. but the green one was moving in circles and here not. But there are much more cars.
When it whizzes by, has another sound. Computer sound generators. Quite a game for its day.
Yeah, you see the mileage.
Has a few solid state components. Certainly no computer.
At the top of the lanes, that's the score in fact, huh? And the more you run at high speeds and a lot of distance, well, the score is higher. See the accident? That's really a nice effect, which was very impressive for the time.
Quite an elaborate
Well, as always, it's difficult to shoot with your phone and play with one hand.
speed up, slow down, and you work your way through.
Oh, he reached bonus time. He went through a car. Yeah, I don't know if the cabinet is working fine.
Now I remember why I didn't dig it back out of storage.
Okay, let's see another footage, short one. The quality is not very good, but we don't have good quality videos so far. And it's always interesting to have a look at different footage, at different videos of the same cabinet, because it's not like electronic arcade games where it's working or not, and if it's working, it's exactly the same game. For electromechanical games, what you see depends how far the guy who have the cabinet is restoring it. So the lights might be different, the sound might be different, even the gameplay sometimes. That's why it's interesting to watch a few videos when they are available. Okay, let's have a look. See here it's darker, so we can really see the effect of the black lights. Oh yeah, accident, nice. So many cars. It's quite hard, quite difficult. Game over. Okay, and the last vertical one, still not very good quality, but nice to see another version.
Notice, hope you can see this, the car is on the right, and I'm going to bring it in.
Yeah, we don't see well the player's car because I think the right of the cab is opened and there's too much light. It's interesting because the scenery is moving and we can see well the other cars. The sound is a bit different too. Well, that was Runner from Bally, which looks like a copy of Monte Carlo from Sega, but with a few improvements and novelties.